Hi guys, and welcome back to the next episode of 2D lists with my computer science teacher. In the last lesson we were looking at how to set up a 2D list and also how to use the index of it. But this is not an efficient way to pull out data from there, especially if you want to view all these students at one time. So we're going to look at how we can use a for loop to do that. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this code and I'm going to use basically a for loop now. So I'm going to use for I in range. Or for I in range even, for I in range, open and close brackets, and the colon at the end. So what I want to do is I know that this is 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I know that it's up to 4 items, isn't it? There's 4 items in there. So I can create a range between 0 and 4. Yeah, 0 to 4, and then we will stop running the code. However, I don't want to use 0 to 4. I want to use 0 to the length of the list. Okay, and the reason why I'm using the length of the list is because if I ever add any new information there, I would like to essentially the code to automatically update that here rather than me manually having to go back into the code and doing it. But anyway, so that creates a range. So I, it's very important what happens to I now. So if I print and open close brackets and print I, I'm basically just going to print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but obviously I need to know that so I can use it to pull out items in the list. So let's take this as an example. So if instead of printing I, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print pupils, open and close brackets. I'm going to print out 0. Okay, it's pupil names actually. My apologies. Pupil names. Okay, so if I was to do that, all that would happen is that Cindy's name will get printed out 4 times, okay, and that's no good to me because 0 never increases. But we now know from that past experience, the explanation I just gave you, I increments by 1 every time. So we can actually use that here because it starts at 0, and after the first iteration, it goes up here and changes to 1. And then that will be a 1, then that will be a 2, and that will be a 2, then 3, and then it will stop running. Okay, so when I run that code now, you'll see it's actually looping through the items in the list and it's printing them one by one here. Okay, so what we want to do next is we want to actually have a whole line for each one. When I say a whole line, I want to know what the grades are for each student too. So I could print out now, I could go comma, has the following grades. Okay, just like we did before, and I'll do grades, if I can spell or type grades. I'm going to use I again, okay, because that means from pupil names record we're going to pull out item 0, and from the grades we're going to pull out row 0 as well, record 0. So when I run that now, it will say Cindy has the following grades 6, 7, 8. Haley has the following grades, Vlad has the following grades, and that is now working as long as I can spell. I told you my spelling's off today, it's too early. But yeah, and I'll fix that for the people who are like, that's not how you spell it, and I think I haven't spelled following properly, it's double L, right? So yeah, anyway, Cindy has the following grades. Cool. I can break that down even more, yeah, and I can say open and close the brackets here, and I want item 0 from this record, whatever record that we're going to use. I want item 0, which is going to be the English grade, and I could do a comma, open and close the brackets for English. Okay, and when I run that now, it tells me all the English grades. Okay, and that's just because we've said obviously item 0 has the following grades, grade 0, grade 0, so which is record and item 0, and that's what it does, and then it just increases by 1. I could extend the sentence as well and say comma, and I could say for English, I'm going to do comma grades, grades, open and close brackets, I, and open and close brackets again, and this time 1, comma, for what's the next one, maths, and then I'll do another comma, grades, open and close brackets, open and close brackets, I and 2. Okay, so what that will do is it's pulling out all the items individually, because I'm specifying them based on location, and I'm putting them in a sentence to make sense for science. Okay, when I run that now, you'll see on the left hand side it says Sydney has the following grades: 6 for English, 8 for maths, 7 for science. Beautiful. It's just missing a couple of commas, but you know what, I'll let you guys program those into your little program. Okay, and that's how essentially you're referring to each location based on the index. So you can see this is 0, 0, this is 0, 1, and that's 0, 2. And then obviously when I increases by 1, then it will become 1, 0, and 1, 1, and 1, 2. And that's basically how it works. Okay, so yeah, I want you to have a quick go at using a for loop to loop through the items and pick out items. And what I'll do on the next program is I'll show you how to maybe manipulate those items and use them for something. Okay, but for now, get this for loop up and running. Make sure you understand how the index works with the I. Feel free to watch this again if it's a little bit confusing. It is complex, but it's very important that you understand how to use 2D lists. Okay, so have a go at that, and then look out for the next video, which will teach you even more about these 2D lists, how to loop them, and what to do with them when we find information.